The average e-commerce email pop-up converts between 1 to 4%, but I've personally helped my clients create a pop-up that converts at 6, 10, and even occasionally 14% conversion rate. And I didn't do this by creating annoying pop-ups that decrease the website's overall conversion, or by giving huge discounts which destroy a brand's margin. Instead, I used the pop-up frameworks, which I'm about to break down, and I've used for over 95 businesses all around the world. So by the end of this video, you're gonna know how to increase your pop-up's conversion rate, collect more emails, and generate more revenue from every website visitor. So let's actually start off with why pop-ups are important first of all. And the reason is because some of the quick wins that you can get in email marketing is due to just increasing your pop-up's conversion rate. So you can see this example over here. There's two brands where they both have really good email flows, but the only difference between them is their pop-up's conversion rate. In this example, this brand gets $10 for every welcome flow recipient. So everyone that goes into their welcome flow, on average, it generates $10 per recipient. But their pop-up converts at 3%. Versus this brand, their pop-up converts at 10%. They still have the exact same flows as the other brand. You can see the brand on the left gets 30 cents per website visitor versus the brand on the right gets $1 per website visitor. That's 3x more revenue just from changing the pop-up on their website. So increasing your pop-up's conversion rate is really important. So how do you actually do it? Well, there's a lot of things you can customize, but there's only really two things that actually matter. That is number one, the offer of the pop-up, and number two, it's the mobile optimization of the pop-up. Everything else is really just fluff. So the two main offers that people generally try, a discount or a gift with purchase. And a discount offers is pretty standard. It's when you give a 10% off or a $10 off or any other dollar figure or dollar percent or number of percent off. So percentage off, 10% is pretty common. And you can see over here, it works pretty well as a starting point for most brands. And then you want to test other things to see if you can increase or decrease the conversion rate based on that. The dollar off is also a good starting point if you have a higher average order value product. So for example, if you sell something that costs $1,000 and you give away 10% off, well, that is probably going to hurt your margins a lot more than if you had a $100 item and you were giving away 10% off. So instead of giving 10% off for your $1,000 AOV item, you can instead maybe give $50 off or $25 on your pop-up as an offer. And that could work very well. Now, the second offer is a free gift with purchase. And this is when you offer something free for people to buy. Here's an example of a free gift with purchase that we ran for one of our clients. They sell linen sprays and we offer a free travel size linen spray on people's next order that they can get. This is an offer which isn't possible for every brand, but if it is logistically possible for your brand, if you can find a small item that you can just add into the box when you're shipping out an order, this works really well on a pop-up. And I'm going to explain why. Number one, it's cheaper to fulfill than a 10% off. Instead of giving away $10 off, it might be cheaper to actually find an item that costs you, for example, $3 that you can just slide into the box and offer on your pop-up. And that's going to give a lot more value for the customer because the likelihood is you're probably going to list that item for $15, $20, maybe even $30. This linen spray lists for $30 on the website. Number two, you can clear out excess stock. Now, some of these smaller items, they're generally accessories that you have as an upsell. So people don't generally come to the website to buy that item specifically. So you listing that on your pop-up, it actually makes sense and it helps you clear out stock that was just sitting there. And number three, it helps open up a conversation with your customer down the line after they've received it, because you can be like, how was that little item that we gave? Which shows the customer you care and also gives you an opportunity to upsell them further. So here's the back end of how that pop-up was performing. It was converting at 13.55%. And out of the 17,000 people that saw the pop-up, 2,300 people gave us their email ads. Here's another reason why the pop-up is really good, and just to explain the benefit of the margin. Let's say we have a brand that has an average order value of $100 and we use a normal 10% or $10 off discount. At the end of the day, the total amount that we receive from the sale is $90 and the customer gets $100 of value in terms of product. Now, if we swap that to a free gift with purchase, let's say we sell suits as an example, and we want to give in a tie with people's first purchase as like a free gift. Now, when we give that tie, it doesn't cost us $20. It actually only costs us $5. So the amount we receive from the sale is $95 and the customer receives a $20 item. So compared to the 10% off or $10 off example, you get more money in your pocket and the customer receives more value. So really, it's a win-win for everyone involved. And if, for example, ties were an item that were just sitting around your warehouse and weren't really selling, well, this helps clear out stock of ties as well. So it can work extremely well, and I strongly recommend that you test this out because it is one of the highest performing offers. It's definitely been for us and for a lot of brands. We have extremely high conversion rates purely because we swap them to a gift with purchase offer. Now, number two is the mobile optimization of the pop-up. And this is extremely important because 80% of email sign-up come from mobile. Most of the people that land on your website and shop are going to be from mobile. Most of the people that even look at your ads are on mobile. So like your website and like your ads, we want to optimize your pop-up for mobile as well. So there's a few ways that we do that. Number one, we make large tappable typeable buttons, and we make minimal text. We just want to focus on the offer and make it as easy as possible for the customer to see what they're going to get and sign up for it. Number 3, and this is pretty important, have a single column layout. We don't want to have an image on the right or left of the pop-up because that will make the text a little bit smaller and make it harder to read, which is very annoying on mobile. And number 4, we want to have a clear value proposition immediately visible when the pop-up shows up. Last but not least, have an easy access close button. Some people aren't interested in signing up, and that's totally fine, but we want to make it as easy as possible for them. You want to create 2 separate pop-ups, one for desktop and one for mobile. In terms of how to handle desktop versus mobile, you want to create 2 separate pop-ups, one that only shows on mobile and one that only shows on desktop. The reason for that is because it keeps our data separate, and we can use that to make optimizations on each pop-up depending on how they're performing. Also, what you might find is that if you have one big pop-up, like for example, this that we've designed for desktop, this is how it might end up looking on mobile. And it opens you up to have some issues if you don't specifically design it for mobile. So, writing the pop-up. The key to writing a good pop-up is number 1, focus on the offer. Have this front and center and don't have too much info. And that's what my second rule is be concise. Remove all the text that doesn't actually just point to what the offer is and how they can claim it. And number 3, have one clear call to action that you keep consistent across the entirety of the pop-up. Now that I've given you the rules, let's go inside Klaviyo and start designing one. So I've just joined my test account, and the way you create a pop-up is you go to the left over here, you go to the sign up form section and you click create form. You click expand over here and go to the sign up form section, then you go to create forms, and there's a bunch of different templates over here that you can pick depending on the style of your business. I'm gonna just create a blank form just so we can build it from scratch. Feel free for your business just to pick what you like and kind of edit based on that. So when we start designing, we always start with the mobile pop-up first, because what looks good on mobile generally also looks good on desktop, but it doesn't work vice versa. So I'm gonna start here by naming this test pop-up mobile, and for form type we choose pop-up, and what list should subscribers be added to. If you don't know the answer, just click newsletter. Otherwise, if you have a specific list where you add people into, select that. So newsletter, save and design, and this is what it looks like. So for the sake of designing, it is a little bit easier if we just go to the mobile section and focus most of our designs here. And this is what it looks like. So inside of Klaviyo, what you can see at the top over here is every stage of the pop-up. So this is the teaser, and then we've got a survey, and then we've got an email opt-in, and then it goes to a success page. And we can add in some steps between the email opt-in and success stage. One of those steps is a mobile opt, or we can collect information like, for example, people's name or birthday, or we can create our own custom step. For the sake of this pop-up, I always recommend you collect SMS, even if you don't plan to send SMS within Klaviyo. We go mobile opt-in, collecting a phone number, we'll select text message. You can also collect people's WhatsApp, and you can send that through Klaviyo now as well. But for the sake of this, we'll just go with text messaging, and you have to do an opt-in, a traditional text message double opt-in based on your region. So I'm going to select that and then click add step, and this is what this looks like. Actually, what I recommend, instead of doing this, I would delete this step, and I would just duplicate the email opt-in form so that, and that way we can just change this to an SMS. We delete this. Every time you put this in, this comes up, which is a little bit annoying, but you have to have it. So what we do is we just make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't get in the way too much. And I don't like it over there. I like it out of the way. And I'm just gonna actually just edit this on the mobile side of the page because, so a teaser is optional, and this is just what shows when someone closes the pop-up. How the normal pop-up works is someone lands on the website, and then you've got targeting and behaviors. It shows someone based on these behaviors. So the general settings we recommend are between 4 and 6 seconds. And then, or if someone has scrolled 40% or more of the website. In terms of frequency, I recommend you keep this at 1. What this means is that if someone closes the pop-up, it won't show to them for X amount of days. Generally, we want to show it to them the next time they land on the website, and that might not be, for the next couple of days, but we want this as 1 generally. And then we want the devices to be mobile only. And then in terms of targeting, we will kind of leave this as it is. Don't show to existing Klaviyo profiles. Yes. Yep, that's all fine. And so what happens is this is going to be the first page that shows, but if someone closes it, then the teaser will show. So this can be pretty annoying when people are shopping online, just having this button, this big box that's in the way. So what I recommend is that you have a close button just so people can get rid of it if they want. Otherwise, if you don't want the teaser, just remove it. So if you do have the teaser, the only rule is just make sure you have the X there because it can get a bit annoying. So yeah, this first step, you can choose to have a question, micro commitment here, which seems to be the default setting now in Klaviyo. I'm just going to delete that because I want it to be as simple as possible so that people just say, you've got 10% off your first order, you can claim the discount. And there's multiple things that you can change here. If you see, you can change the font size, you can change, you go to the styles, you can resize the pop-up. You can make this 700. It gets a bit weird when you do that, so maybe don't do that. We'll just make this 1000 like it was. And then there's a bunch of different things you can customize over here too. So you can change the color of it. You can change the image. You can set an image as a background. You can round the corners. You can add a border. You can add padding, all sorts of stuff, whatever you need to do. But for the purpose of this video, we just want to keep the offer front and center. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to claim the discount. In terms of mobile optimization, we want the buttons to be right next to each other. I recommend you actually go to the targeting and behavior just for the sake of editing, because it makes it a bit easier to do. Go all devices and you edit from this page, and then near the end, then you turn off the desktop optimization. So you can clone this button and then make this, for example, white. We'll make the text black, and we'll make the button style transparent, and we'll change the text to no thanks. And this will close the pop-up. We'll make it so this will come up on screen. Once people put their email in, claim discount, it'll take them to the next page. We actually, for this, we want to redo it. We just edited it. And we go clone, and we'll make this SMS. And then instead of email, we're going to make them collect phone number. So opt in, and we'll make this opt for SMS updates. For SMS, no thanks. And we'll make this a little bit nicer. No, it looks a bit weird. How does it look for email? We don't want the pop-up to close just because they don't sign up for SMS. What we want is for, if they don't want SMS, it still takes them to the success page. So how we do that, it's a little bit confusing. You click submit form, and then you still click SMS subscribers. That's what it's going to do over here. List to submit to. Actually, this is SMS subscribers for this form. And then this still takes in the SMS subscribers. However, it will show the next step, and the next step is the success page. So what it looks like for the consumer is they get on the page, they get this pop-up, they can sign up to email. If they submit their email, it takes them to the next page, and then you can change this to claim 10% off, or maybe just want to as well. There you go. You've got 10% off. We will delete that. And then we can change this to yes, message. No thanks, I'll stick to just email. And then whatever, regardless of what they click, it'll take them to this page. Now, the rule is we want to give people the discount code in the pop-up itself. We don't want to make them go to their email to get a discount code. And the reason for that is because that's annoying. We never want to give people a reason to leave the website, because sometimes they won't come back, which actually hurts website conversion. So how we give the discount code in the pop-up is we just add a block with the coupon code. And there's a few ways that you can do this. You can either give a static discount code like welcome 10, or we can actually create a unique discount code that shows a unique code for every subscriber. So what we're going to do here is create a unique discount code, and the easy way of doing that is just clicking welcome 10, and it will generate a unique discount code for every person that receives a pop-up. And for the padding over here, we just want to add it to 180 so it looks normal. And there you go, there's your pop-up. So this is what it looks like. Someone lands on the website, it's like you've got 10% off, and then it shows you want text messaging as well. And then if they want text messaging, regardless of if they put it in or not, they get the discount code and they can continue shopping. We go to inbox, we don't want to make that. We want to make this shop now. And this is close form. Keep shopping, and we'll just delete this. There you go. Easy. And that's how you create a pop-up. Now, one of the key things that I hear from brands is that they're afraid of adding a pop-up because it might annoy their customers and reduce their website's conversion rate. So here's how to actually avoid impacting your website's conversion rate. And I did walk through these in the actual walkthrough itself. However, the main things are that you just give the code in the pop-up. We don't want to make people go into their email inbox to get the discount code that they signed up for. Because if you give people a reason to leave your website, a lot of those people just won't come back ever to buy from you again. Number two, make it less intrusive. So we can just increase how long the delay is before the pop-up shows, or we can make it so that it shows when people reach the end of a website, or we can turn up the pop-up so that it's only visible to people that are going to leave the website anyway. So it only triggers on exit intent. And those are some of the ways that you can do that. So there you have it. I've shown you how to make a pop-up that helps you increase your pop-up conversion rate, collect more emails, and generate more revenue from every single visitor that you get. If you found this helpful, please subscribe. I post very helpful email marketing tutorials. Otherwise, if you're an e-commerce brand that makes over $1 million a year in sales, we can help you. I can do a free audit for you of your Klaviyo and just tell you what you can improve completely for free, and I'll give you a few takeaways that you can implement yourself. Why should you do that? Because we are an email marketing agency. We're gold Klaviyo partners, and we work with over 95 brands all around the world, including some of these iconic Australian brands, including some of these publicly listed businesses, and including a bunch of these other e-commerce brands located all around the world. These are some of the results that we get for the brands that we work with. They all make significant sums of money. We work with 7- and 8-figure brands, and my offer to you is I'll audit your Klaviyo account completely for no strings attached, and I'll give you 5 takeaways that you can take away and implement yourself. No strings attached. I just want to say that again. If it makes sense for you on our call, I will make an offer to you, but that's only if it makes sense to help you fix some of the problems I find in the audit, or run your emails on an ongoing basis, if it makes sense. So if you're interested in that, click below, link in the description, and we'll chat soon.